ladies and gentlemen, people of YouTube, I hope you're having a beautiful day on planet Earth, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. In this video, we're going to be watching the technical presentation that was given by Mark Cerny, because Sony have unveiled the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it's pretty good. It's pretty expensive, but we're going to watch the presentation. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to try not to talk too much, but if I do, I'm going to try and make it warranted. Before we watch the video, I have one very quick request of you. There's a button somewhere on this screen. You'll have to find it. It's very fun. It says subscribe on it. I'd press that button. Not only will you get a lifetime of good luck, but you will also allow me to feel warm and happy inside. I require validation to get by. It takes 1 second. Completely free. Trying to grow a community around here. If you like this video, if you don't hate the sound of my voice, highly unlikely, but if you don't hate the sound of my voice, press subscribe and I will love you forever. Let's watch the technical presentation from Mark Cerny. Let's see what the deal is, yo. It's exciting.
Hi, I'm Mark Cerny.
Hello.
I'm excited to be here to talk about
Hi,
the
Mark.
newest addition to our console lineup, PlayStation 5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology. But first, I want to take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional game.
Very beautiful console. It's a good looking console, to be fair.
When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second.
Yeah, in very specific situations.
PS5 has a powerful RDNA
and also, I know I'm stopping really quickly here, but it can do 120 frames per second, but I'd be amazed to know how many people that buy and use PlayStation 5s are using them on 120 hertz monitors or TVs. I would be amazed if it's like above 50%. I'd be amazed.
CPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore.
Very nice.
Ray tracing allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass.
Yeah.
And the realism that comes from real-time
ray tracing is absolutely beautiful.
Custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds.
Are we talking about a console here or a PC?
And data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essential.
Sounds like he's talking about a PC. He kind of is, I guess.
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are.
Hey, we love good audio around here.
Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game.
I mean, it vibrates, if that's what you mean, but like if I get shot in the game, I don't feel through my hands myself getting shot. Thankfully, it vibrates. It vibrates, Mark. That sounds a bit wrong, but yeah, I don't feel what my character feels. Do I? I don't feel anything.
It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences. Creators have made amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail
most people
or use more ray tracing.
Go for performance though, right?
But the games only run at 30 frames per second.
Like who realistically is going to be playing at 30%, at 30 frames a second, like willingly? If you've played a game at 60 frames a second or more, like you're not going to be going back to playing 30 frames a second, are you? Like, are you?
This can be choppier and the controls less responsive. Performance modes emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second.
such a
mainly by
huge
reducing the
difference.
graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time.
Okay.
Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5
Not
Pro.
unsurprising.
We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to,
Oh, cue the
the high
violence.
frame rates that players typically prefer.
I want everyone to be
To
happy.
do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways.
I should hope so.
Here's what we call the Big 3. First, we made the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second,
That's great.
We made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds.
Ray
of PlayStation
tracing, yeah.
5.
For the
And
price of a
finally,
console,
we added custom
fantastic.
hardware for machine learning and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for
Okay.
short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel.
So it's going to do
and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective
more than 60
resolution
frames a
of the
second then?
games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the Big 3 involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame
Yeah,
rate.
this is the thing, man. Like, when you use upscaling, if it's good, like, to the untrained eye, it does look just as good as running a game, like, natively without any upscaling. Like, upscaling, as NVIDIA has often, you know, they basically made all of their money from in recent years, is, like, upscaling, DLSS, PSSR, FSR, whatever we want to call it. Like, it is software magic.
It's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro.
And this does
It
look
has
really
huge
good.
amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second. Let's compare this to the fidelity mode on PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second.
Yeah, you
and
can
is
really
therefore
clearly
much softer.
see the difference in smoothness.
This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close
These
to
are very
doubling the
specific
power of
games,
PlayStation
though, aren't
5.
they? And how many people are playing these games?
Another way to compare the two consoles is to look at PS5 Pro versus performance mode
Like,
on
most
PS5,
people have already played these
both of
games.
which
Are they
target-
gonna, like, most people that have played these games, are they now gonna go and buy a PS5 Pro and be like, ah, great, I can play Ratchet and Clank again. Oh, tremendous. I'm gonna play it. It's gonna look like fidelity mode, but it's gonna be 60 frames a second. Oh, I'm gonna spend £700 on that.
target 60
Probably not.
frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer.
Such specific games,
And
dude.
here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution.
Marvel's
throughout
Spider-Man
the
2 is
scene,
a great game.
including the trees and procedural
Are
cars.
people gonna spend £700 on, like, a handful of games,
So
though?
overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the Big 3 showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost, that extra graphics power is allowing
does
for
look
improvements to
amazing.
lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Dwarf's orders.
Good enough for me. Yeah, I
Ray
can't deny
tracing
it.
is
That does
finding
look
broad
incredible.
usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference. Allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay, while continuing to support their targeted 60 frames per second. That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy, allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed
And
this
to be
run
fair,
through.
like if you want to buy a PC that's going to be able to play Hogwarts Legacy with ray tracing, you're going to be spending a ton more money than £700.
Technology behind
So in this
PlayStation 5
case,
Pro.
if you're playing
Simply
Hogwarts
put,
Legacy,
it's the most powerful console we've ever built,
you should buy it.
and a worthy addition to the PS5 family. Let me wrap this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
It's going to be what? Spider-Man, Last of Us, Ratchet and Clank, Gran Turismo, and what else was it? Yeah, it's going to be like 5 games. Spider-Man. Final Fantasy. Is that Final Fantasy? Am I being stupid?
Close your eyes.
Last of Us, nice.
It'll be worth it.
Okay.
Just look amazing.
Did I do it? Oh, what is this? What's with all the neon?
Do they actually say the price in the presentation? Like, I already found out before the video, but did they say it in this video? Whew, you cast those spells, boy. Damn. This is making me want to play some games. That's like, what, 11 or 12 games there? Yeah, dude, I love that they just threw it in at the end. Oh, by the way, it's £700. Okay, so I've got to give you my thoughts on this. So it's £700, and there's 3 key technologies that they're using as selling points for this. So GPU, ray tracing, and upscaling. That's what it was, wasn't it? Upscaling, ray tracing, GPU. These are PC technologies. And so this is going to represent great value. If you want to play one of these games, let's say it's like, I don't know how many games, like 10, 15 games that it's going to be in, like off rip. If you play those games, you're going to get better value out of getting this £700 PlayStation 5 Pro. It is extortionately expensive, but like you're going to get more value if you play The Last of Us, Spider-Man, Gran Turismo. If you play these games specifically, you know, you're going to get way better value out of getting a PS5 Pro, because you're basically getting PS5, you're getting PC graphics. They should have just called it PC5 Pro, right? It is a PC, but it just doesn't do PC things. You're going to get PC graphics for £700. Now, if you go and buy a PC for £700, you are definitely not going to be able to get the same sort of results that you're going to get with this console. But it's such specific like use cases that you're going to get value out of this console. It's so specific, and also this relies on you having a 120 hertz display or monitor, which like not that many people use, man. Like I guarantee to you, most people went out and bought a PS5 and they've got a 60 hertz TV at home. Like most people probably don't think about the monitor. Like they just bought the PS5. But this is gonna, yeah, this is weird because it's like they're now basically just selling a PC. They're competing with people that would otherwise buy a low-end or mid-range PC. And in certain use cases, this does represent better value. But I would say for 99% of people out there that play other games, or that also want the practicality of having a PC, because this is what it's all about now. Like we have to talk about these consoles and compare them to PCs, because this is where it's gotten to. There's sort of like now, there is now like this ceiling where we've gotten the fidelity to where we can get it to. The graphics are brilliant. Now they're like, okay, well, graphics are brilliant, but we can't keep playing it at 30 frames a second. Like, it'd be great if everything was 60 at least. At least. So yeah, this is a strange one, man, because the price is insane. At £700, for most people, this is not a value proposition. But it's exciting that they're now looking at upscaling, that they're now looking at ray tracing in these games. It's exciting that the GPUs are getting better in these consoles. But, I mean, is it a Sony PS5 Pro or is it an Apple PS5 Pro? I mean, what are they doing with this pricing? This is crazy. And the vertical stand is sold separately. Like, I spent £700 on a console and I don't even get the stand. I want to know how much the stand is. But yeah, that's my thoughts anyway. Like, my thoroughly uneducated, uncultured thoughts. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you continue to have a beautiful day on Earth. Please subscribe to my channel. Make me happy, please. I beg you. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys stopping by. And yeah, really expensive console. Damn.